G'day, I'm Mark from SelfSufficientme, and as a veteran who's carried both physical injuries and PTSD, I've learned that healing doesn't always come from a pill or a program. Sometimes it comes from getting your hands in the dirt. Food gardening has given me something I didn't expect: purpose, calm, and strength. The act of growing your own food reconnects you to nature. It grounds your thoughts. And for veterans, especially those transitioning out of the service, it can become a form of therapy. It did for me. Physically, it gets you moving. Mentally, it gets you focused on something life-giving. Emotionally, it gives you wins, one sprout at a time. In the military, we're trained to prepare for anything. Gardening gives you back some of that control. It builds self-sufficiency. Thanks for coming off nice and easy. That's a sunrise lime. But soldiers, by definition, are a jack of all trades. We're trained to adapt and overcome, use our initiative. And those traits is what makes Western military forces, in particular, so effective. But it's also what can frustrate us back in the civvy world, because these traits are often misread as aggressive and unhelpful, even if your ideas and motivation drive success for a company or organisation. Integrating back into civvy life can be challenging, but what most military personnel don't realise is they already attain the skills required to do that. They have that adaptability, they can assess a situation very well, and so you need to use those skills to apply a method, whatever that may be, to achieve the best outcome. For me, it was to worry less about things that I couldn't, like cockatoos in the garden, destroying things. No, seriously, for me, it was about worrying less about those things that I couldn't change or improve. I don't mean lowering my standards. I mean perhaps lowering my expectations. And then focusing on the things that I could improve or control, and things like my garden, especially this hobby of mine that turned into a business. And of course, the well-being of my family and myself, which is extremely important. With food prices rising and the world feeling a little unstable, growing even a small part of what you eat can be empowering. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Start small, grow what you like to eat, and build from there. Another thing my military service taught me was loyalty and working with people whom we can trust. That's why now as a YouTuber, I work with Kevin, the founder of epicgardening, because he and his business are more to me than an affiliate arrangement. And many of the gardening products I use come from the epicgardening online store, which always has a huge Memorial Day sale. It's already started. You can get up to 50% off plus an extra 5% with my discount code, and of course those details are down in the description below, and also I'll pin it to the comments section. This Memorial Day sale is the main sale I like to support each year because I'm a veteran. I have a lot of supporters over in the States, and this time of year marks the start of summer vacations in the USA, so it's a good time to get out in the garden and get the most out of those sales and discounts. The last day of the sale is Monday, the 2nd of June. So the discounts apply to grow bags, seedling containers, pretty much everything on the online store, and especially these raised garden beds here. These are Birdie's beds. They're made not far from me on the Gold Coast here in Australia. My oldest ones are nearly 18 years old and they're still going strong, no rust. Yes, they've got dints in them and everything. I've hit them with mowers, I've run into them, I've leaned on them, but they are extremely strong and they will last you pretty much a lifetime. Particularly for people or veterans that have injuries, these raised garden beds are a game changer, because stand-up gardening allowed me to get into gardening more in the first place. It's less painful, it's less bending over, it's less on your knees. And you know how ex-soldiers are with their knees from going to ground all the time. They are completely shot. So standing up is easier on the back and the shoulders. There's less bending, and I just love it. And that means if you can do more of something, more of what you love doing, getting out in nature, obviously it's going to be better for you. You know, the number one reason why I joined the military back when I was 17, besides not having much of an education and flunking out of high school, so there wasn't a lot of opportunity for me, I felt like the military for me, or the army, would be a really good outdoors type of lifestyle. And it proved to be exactly what I wanted and what I thought it would be. There was a lot of outdoors, sometimes too much of it. And sometimes the outdoors wasn't that fun because, you know, you're on operations or it's dangerous and those types of things. But for the most part, I really did love my army career, and it really did give me a lot of opportunity in and outside of the military for me to take advantage of that, you could say, experience in life to go further and now do something outdoors, which I really am amazed that I've been able to forge another career out of. So if you can't move from the military and that active and outdoors lifestyle into a civilian job that's very similar, what you can do is you can do your hobbies, and gardening is one of the best ones to get out and enjoy yourself in nature. So if you do want to support my channel and the work that I do, and you are thinking about buying something anyway to get started in gardening, you might as well take advantage of those sales right now. And yeah, visit the Epic Gardening store. I need to pick these beans before they get too big and stringy. They are just prolific, these small knee-high beans. I just love them. They don't have to be on a trellis, they don't climb, they can just flop over the edge of a garden bed like this. Anyway, let's see if I can half fill this bowl. It's a big bowl. That's just off one plant. Boy, this last one's got a million of them on it. Check it out. I did fill the bowl up. Don't ask me how many beans are in here. I'm going to have to get a bean counter in. This Memorial Day, I want to take a moment to acknowledge those who we've lost through service, and also those that maybe are still serving or not serving anymore, but are still carrying those scars, mental and physical, from their service. You're doing and you've done a great job of protecting us and keeping us and our lifestyle that we enjoy, particularly in the West, safe. For any veterans watching, know this: you are not alone, and there are tools that can help you rebuild, recover, and re-establish your life, such as gardening. I'd call gardening a tool, but you know, I'm biased because I think it's a really great and easy way for anyone just to get out. You don't even need a backyard. You can do it on a terrace. You can do it in a small courtyard. You can grow a lot of food in one small raised garden bed or a raised planter. So these things are very helpful. You would be surprised at how enjoyable a small planter can be. I mean, I'm thinking of my father-in-law, who's in his late 80s now and suffering bone cancer and not doing the best, but he still enjoys his little raised planter that we got him. He's a veteran as well, and that does the world of good. And him and his wife, the mother-in-law Sandra, they're very proud when we go over there to show the cherry tomatoes and the other things that they've got growing in that small raised garden bed. That helps them also with their grocery bill. It's just fantastic. But you don't have to be in gardening. It could be anything outdoors. It needs to be a connection to nature though. So things like hiking, that's good. Fishing is another good thing. You don't have to have a boat and go out on a boat. You can do it anywhere, off the beach. Get your feet and toes in the sand and smell the salt air and just dream a bit, or think about a fish going to get that bait. Just let yourself relax and de-stress, and you will find that nature can be so healing. But what you can't do is have a sedentary lifestyle of sitting in front of the idiot box, watching and absorbing all that negativity, scrolling through social media non-stop. That is a sure way to get you in more trouble than if you walked past the parade ground on base and called the Sergeant Major a buff-headed show pony. That would get you in a lot of trouble. So yeah, definitely you must get out into nature. I think that's the really main thing that I want to talk, that I want, the main message that I wanted to get across. And by the way, yes, I nearly forgot. For those of you, for those Aussies that are still watching, you might be thinking, why is this Australian guy, Mark, addressing more of an American audience? Well, it's Memorial Day and it's a special thing. It's like our Anzac Day here in Australia and New Zealand. So their Memorial Day is a special day, but it also marks, like I said at the beginning of this video, the start of the holiday season and all that. And I have quite a following, or supporter base, I like to say supporter base, not following, from the USA, and I'm very grateful for that. I love America, I love Americans, I love traveling there, I love everything about it. So that's why this video is a bit more that way. And if you go to the epicgardening website, you won't be able to get any stock to Australia. But what I'm going to do is I talked about some of the things that you can get from Epic Gardening. What I'll do, I don't normally give things away. This is a bit of the spur of the moment, so I hope I don't get in trouble. I usually don't give anything away, especially on YouTube because of the scams and all that. But what you can do is you can sign up to my website, just the newsletter. Sign up to the newsletter. And when you sign up to the newsletter, also go to the Contact Me page and write an email to me. Use the contact page and say, Mark, I've signed up to your newsletter. I'm from Australia and I watched your video on the Memorial Day thing, and I will select 3 of you and have a chat then, and then maybe get your address and that, if it's all okay, and then I'll send you some of this gear. All right, I'm not exactly sure what, but I'll give you a mixture of a grow bag and some of these really great containers and Epic Gardening made in the USA trays and that type of thing. So I'll give you a mix of gear and I'll post it out to you. I'll choose 3 people that I think wrote the best message. Give me a dad joke or something like that. This is probably the worst contest giveaway thing that anyone's ever done on YouTube. But anyway, if you get what I mean, I'll choose 3 and 3 only, and I probably won't publish the results even, but I will send them out to those 3. Anyway, so that could be the best way to do it. So yeah, it is focused on a US audience, but that's why. All right, well, now I'm going. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.